I spent the last 2 weeks studying the life of 50 billionaires to discover how they made their first $1 million. It was a ton of work and research, but I see rich people completely differently now. And I'm here to share all of it with you because this is golden information. So here are 3 lessons to wealth from the richest people on earth. As of August 2024, 18 out of the top 50 on Forbes Billionaires list have inherited most of their money. That might sound like a lot, but this is a strong indicator that wealth can outlive us. Wealth can be generational. It can be passed down from parents to children. Take, for example, the Johnson family from the pharmaceutical company Johnson & Johnson. They're at their 4th generation of billionaires. Right now, there's a Johnson's family member named Robert Wood Johnson IV, because his great-great-grandfather was the one who founded the company. Now, what does that tell us? It tells us another generation built something that lasted through time, but it also means that protecting your wealth is another challenge, and it's not something that comes easily to everyone. Take the Walton family, for example. One of the richest families in the United States. Their fortune all started with Sam Walton, the founder of Walmart. Since then, he's had 4 children, all of which have inherited a part of his huge fortune. Rob Walton, the elder son, directly joined the direction of Walmart with his father. But Alice, the youngest daughter, founded her own investment bank and was the CEO for 10 years. Before it failed. John Walton, the second son, unlike his siblings, didn't like business at all. He participated in the Vietnam War. He loved piloting airplanes and unfortunately died in an accident while piloting his home-built aircraft. The Wertheimer family, one of the richest families in France. This is 2 brothers, Alain and Gérard, who inherited a fortune from their grandfather, who was the founder of Chanel. Much like John Walton, they're very discreet about their life. They don't like the spotlight that a billionaire's life can bring. So even in the richest families, not all the kids have this fire inside them that transform their families into billionaires. Being that rich comes with a burden, a heavy burden that not everyone can bear, and it's much harder to manage than a lot of people would think. 32 out of the top 50 on Forbes Billionaires list are self-made billionaires, and they all have this one point in common. Before success came a lot of obstacles. Amancio Ortega, the founder of clothes brand Zara, was born in Spain, and he worked since he was a teenager in different clothes shops in Spain for 10 years before he opened his first shop that only sold bathrobes. And it took him 13 years before he opened his first Zara store in Spain. In the fast-paced world that we live in today, it's inconceivable for some people to imagine how someone could work 23 years towards a dream of opening their own clothes store. Because the truth is, so many people, so many things will try to get in your path to block your progress towards your dreams. People around you not believing in your dreams, failures, stress, hardships, struggles, difficulty to find funding, very low or even 0 sales for years. Entrepreneurs have the vision to see potential where others will not and have the courage to do something about it. Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon, started his business in his garage with his wife as his assistant and funding from his parents. He told early investors that he thought there was a 70% chance that his business would fail. But look at where he is now, kind of hovering between the richest man in the world and the second richest man in the world. It's very difficult to grasp the extent of work and sacrifices that had to be done in order to achieve success like he did. But that's the reality of our world. Just before I get to the 3rd lesson, if you enjoy the content, don't hesitate to subscribe and like the video. A small click can go a long way to support the channel. Let's start with this. Billionaires are not common. There are around 3,000 billionaires on the whole planet. So that's roughly 0.0037% of the whole world's population. Just for comparison, you have around 0.0065% chance of getting hit by lightning in your whole life. Knowing that, I believe there are 3 essential components that can bring together a billionaire: idea, timing, and execution. Idea. Every billionaire has had a radically different idea that sparked the creation of their first company, a razor-sharp competitive edge. Take Larry Page, for example, the founder of none other than Google. During his PhD, he wrote a thesis paper on a subject that turned out to be the basic principle for the first web search engines. He was the first one to think of hyperlinks as the equivalent of citations in scientific literature. That was a billion-dollar idea. Timing. More often than not, they were the first one to have the idea and to bring it to market. Bill Gates, the founder of Microsoft, was studying the right major at the right university who had the right equipment. He also knew the right people and struck a huge deal with IBM, who was looking for someone who had an operating system. At the same time, Bill Gates was developing one. If any of those things did not happen exactly the way it did, if he chose another major, if he studied at another university, if his family didn't have the right connections, nothing would have happened. Microsoft would not exist. Execution. Even if the idea and the timing is there, you still need to do something about it. They started and kept going, improving no matter what, found the right people to help them, constantly challenging themselves and adapting. Phil Knight, the founder of Nike, was a longtime fan of track running. During his business class, he wrote a paper about Japanese shoes, and that's where he cast his vision, and he made it into a reality. This is how it all started, but keep in mind that it took him 5 years to making his first sale in the US. The 3 lessons we just saw come down to one simple rule that no one truly understands. If there's one thing you need to remember from this video, it's this: wealth is not an event. It's a journey. There is no magic trick to become wealthy. There's no secret waiting to be discovered. Truth is, very few people become as successful as those billionaires because very few people understand the extent of what it takes to get there. If you put a random person in the shoes of a self-made billionaire before they made their first $1 million, the majority of people would give up. When we hear about successful business owners, we have to understand no one knows what they had to go through to reach their goals and their success except themselves. For most billionaires, that means years and years of sacrifice and working, living, breathing only for their business. This is what created the base of their wealth. There is this famous quote that I love that summarizes this perfectly: "The only place where success comes before work is in the dictionary." Let me know in the comments how you feel about those billionaires. Do you feel pumped about your future, or do you feel discouraged because you don't know where to start? Good news is, if you're here, you already started, because this is the perfect place to learn about wealth and personal finance. See you in the next one.